There are men who reach 30 and still walk alone, and the world rushes to judge them. But have you ever thought that sometimes solitude is not a failure? It's the sign of a soul becoming wiser. While others chase validation and noise, a wise man chooses silence to build himself. He doesn't follow the crowd. He doesn't seek approval because he knows time will reveal everything. If today you're walking alone, don't be afraid. Maybe this is the path life chose for you to become extraordinary. Listen closely, because what comes next will make you see yourself and never be the same again. There are men who turn 30 with calm eyes, but storms raging inside. No more sleepless nights fearing the future. No more desperate chase for others' approval. He has learned that silence can speak louder than 1,000 words. At this age, he no longer argues to be right. He chooses silence to understand. He doesn't crave praise. He only needs to know he's moving forward slowly but steadily. He once followed the crowd, tried to please everyone, and realized no one truly cared. He was misunderstood, broken by criticism, and hurt by those he trusted the most. But in the quiet, he learned how to rise again. He no longer reacts to insult, no longer fights to prove himself. He simply smiles, knowing the strongest man is not the one who strikes back, but the one who stays calm while still bleeding inside. Turning 30 didn't make him fear aging. It made him fear living without purpose. He started choosing what to keep and releasing what weighed him down. He no longer seeks to stand out, only to stand firm. He doesn't need a crowd, only a few who understand his soul. And in that silence, he found himself again. Not the restless boy he once was, but a man. Calm, grounded, and fully aware of the quiet power within him. At 30, he began to understand that solitude is not punishment. It's a lesson. He used to fear quiet nights, empty weekends, and the feeling of being unseen. But then he realized, in those silent hours, he could finally hear the voice within. No more noise from the world, only the sound of his own footsteps echoing down a thoughtful road. Solitude taught him what crowds never could, that the worth of a man is not in how many surround him, but in how deep he stands within himself. He started choosing his friends carefully, avoiding shallow conversations, saying no to connections that drained his spirit. He learned that silence is sometimes the wisest answer, not because he had nothing to say, but because he no longer needed to explain himself to be understood. He learned to sit alone without feeling empty, to read, to think, to write. And in every quiet page, he found a deeper version of himself. He discovered that the more alone he was, the stronger he became. Because when no one claps for you, you finally learn who's working for purpose, not applause. Solitude stopped being frightening. It became a teacher of patience, of peace, of gratitude. And at last, he no longer ran from it. He learned to walk with solitude as his truest companion on the long road to becoming whole. A man's life changes the moment he changes his mind. He realized everything he sees outside is just a reflection of what's inside. If his mind is chaotic, his world will be too. But when his mind is calm, everything around him becomes clear. He once thought success came from luck, from chances, from other people. Now he knows Success begins with a mindset that refuses to quit. He no longer compares himself to others because he knows the real race is against himself. He stopped asking, "What do I have?" and started asking, "Who am I becoming?" He learned that every failure is just a chapter, and mistakes don't weaken him, they forge him. He saw that every limit begins in the mind. If he believes he can't, then even opportunity right before him will slip away unseen. So he began to change, thought by thought. Each morning, no complaints, just gratitude. No fear, only action. And day by day, the world changed. Not because the world was different, but because he now saw it through a new mind. He understands now. The right mindset can turn pain into wisdom, chaos into strength, and distant dreams into something beautifully real. Some wounds aren't caused by others. They're caused by us for holding on too long. He once felt anger, resentment, and the burning need to prove everyone wrong. But then he realized, forgiveness isn't about them being worthy. It's about you being free. When hatred fills your heart, the only person you truly hurt is yourself. It drains your strength, steals your peace, and traps you in the past. So he began to let go. No more revenge, no more proving, just moving forward. Because he knew life doesn't punish people. It simply mirrors what we give. Those who betrayed him would face their own storms. Those who left taught him how to stand alone. He stopped asking, "Why me?" and started seeing that every pain carries a lesson. Forgiveness doesn't make you weak. It sets you free. Free from hatred. Free from memories that cut too deep. He finally understood. Life doesn't need to be perfect. It only needs peace within. And when he let go, something beautiful happened. His heart became still, and peace came home again.
When a man truly awakens, he no longer runs from the past, nor fears the future. He simply lives, fully, in the present, where every breath is a gift, and every step has meaning. He understands now that life isn't a race. It's a journey back to himself. He once believed happiness meant having more, money, fame, love. But now he knows happiness is being at peace with the man you see in the mirror. He no longer seeks validation, nor needs to be understood. He just wants to live truthfully and kindly. Each morning, he no longer fears new challenges, for he knows everything happens for a reason, and nothing comes to destroy him, only to shape him. He's learned to trust the journey, trust the timing, and trust that when one door closes, it's only a sign to move forward to the next chapter. And in the moment he stops fearing, stops blaming, he realizes everything becomes lighter. He knows now, maturity isn't having everything. It's letting go of what's no longer yours. And so he smiles, not because life is perfect, but because he's learned to find peace within the imperfections. He no longer seeks the light, because now he has become the light. If you've made it this far, pause for a moment, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what are you truly living for? Sometimes, we chase what was never ours, only to realize that the most precious thing is not what we have, but who we become along the way. If you feel lonely, don't worry. Every great soul has walked through darkness alone. Only in silence can you hear the truest voice within. Remember, you don't have to be perfect, just honest. You don't need to be understood, just brave enough to live your truth. If this story touched you, leave a small sign, a like, a subscribe. Together, let's spread awakening and peace to every heart that needs it. Because sometimes, one video can change an entire life.